I have never seen Adventure Time, but I found a video on the internet that will allow me to avoid watching the actual show and watching this instead. So I'm going to try and learn Adventure Time lore via someone's timeline video on the internet and piece it together as best as I can. This is Channel for Rhetoritor Complete Adventure Time Timeline. Here we go.
Still be weeping over the end of Adventure Time, because, I mean, we still are, but thankfully the series finale brought a lot of the lore full circle.
Good, that's awesome.
We finally have enough information to build a complete chronology of Adventure Time. Hi,
I'm happy to see it.
And today we're going to be exploring the Adventure Timeline in full.
Yeah.
A few notes before we start, though. First, we have to acknowledge Yagam, who painstakingly put together an incredibly in-depth timeline of Adventure Time and all of its multiverses over at atchronology.com.
Sorry, did you just say multiverses? I did not think this show was one of those shows. I haven't watched a cartoon for a while now. I used to love watching cartoons. I used to watch everything, but I fell off. I know people love Gravity Falls and Adventure Time, and I'm trying to get myself up to date with that because people tell me that it's still something that adults can enjoy, so I want to get into it.
We owe him a lot. Further, showrunner Adam Muto has stressed that the comics aren't canon, so we're going to be completely ignoring them today. We're only
fuck the comics
that were specifically referenced in the show. And lastly, we're going to be using the Grey Mushroom War as our reference point for Year Zero.
Okay.
It's just standard Adventure Timeline etiquette. All right, let's do this.
Let's go.
Primordial monsters. More than 13.7 billion years before the Mushroom War, which we'll refer to from now on as BMW. Yeah, I know, like the car, but it's the best we've got. The Big Bang, the real one, was 13.7 billion years ago, but according to the Lich, before there was time, there was nothing, and before there was nothing,
it makes sense.
There were monsters. Stars of this monster soup include Hunson Abadir and Orgalorg.
Oh, they're like eldritch creatures, like Cthulhu. That's fun. They're just like unknowable, weird, gangly, tentacly creatures. I love designs like that. These are pretty goofy.
It makes you feel good about the innate nature of the universe, huh? The Big Bang kicks off the multiverse. One would assume that this event spurs the creation of several cosmic entities like Golb, the elements and catalyst comets on Earth. 3.7 billion years BMW. It took the Earth another 9.2 billion years to form, and
lazy ass Earth. Get off your fucking behind and do something for once. Jesus Christ.
Another cool 800 million years for life to emerge. Ever since, 4 core elements have always been present.
Fire, water, air, and earth. I knew this was related to the Avatar.
No, we're not talking about the Avatar element.
Ah! Oh, no! No! Oh, I just got caught. Oh, no!
Yet. These elements are fire.
I swear to God, I have not seen this video before. I know nothing about this series at all. Dude, people are gonna be like, oh my God, you watched it ahead of time so you can make a joke. I just thought it'd be funny if I made an Avatar reference, because I love Avatar, but...
Ice, candy, and slime.
Wait, what? Fire, ice, candy, and slime? Why candy? Okay, this is gonna be a goofy one, isn't it? All right.
Lumps are the anti-element, I guess.
Lumps.
The beings that embody these elements are called elementals. The elementals are mortals who are continually reincarnated. We don't know when or why, though. Even Glob doesn't know how the comet reincarnates itself. And yet, the Catalyst Comet strikes the Earth every 1,000 years, bringing an agent of change that can be good or evil. And evil includes, well, the Green Catalyst Comet and the creation of the Crown. 65 million years BMW. In the twilight hours of Earth's Cretaceous era, the ice elemental Urgence Evergreen points out to the other elementals that the green comet hurtling towards Earth is writhing in a particularly disconcerting way. To combat the comet's imminent destruction.
So this comet is coming in, and it's bad, and it's coming, and we need to do something about it, right?
Life, Evergreen builds a crown whose phantasmo circuitry would bound to its first bearer and grant them their one deepest wish. When the other elementals reject Evergreen's plan, he ices them. Now,
Ah, come on, man. We need a little bit of community. We need some consensus. We need some communication. You can't just freeze the other elementals. These other elementals can't be that good if they're just getting frozen like that. I mean, the ice one's probably pretty strong, to be fair.
Evergreen powers his crown, but becomes indisposed at the last minute, leaving the responsibility of using the crown to his maligned and mentally scarred dinosaur assistant, Gunther. But Gunther's deepest wish isn't to destroy the comet, it's—
Hold on, I want to predict his deepest wish. It's gonna be something goofy and silly like, I want the biggest birthday cake, or I want to be young forever because being adult is cringe. Something like that, right?
Become evergreen. Gunther thereby turns the crown into an artifact that gives the wearer ice powers at the cost of their own identity and sanity, and some form of every wearer's consciousness is stored in the crown.
That's cool. That's like the Grey Fox's mask from the Elder Scrolls.
Circuitry. Meanwhile, the Green Comet strikes Earth, inciting a mass extinction. In 65 million years, the catalyst force introduced by this comet would become the Lich, a monster who vows to extinguish all life. Vampires.
We shouldn't wake that one up.
BMW. According to Hunson Abadir, vampires predate humans on Earth. The demon Abadir has previously been on Earth since its origin. We don't know when he takes over the rule of the Nightosphere, so for convenience's sake, let's just say it happens around now. Orgalorg banished to Earth, 10,000 to 5,000 years.
Orgalorg?
Another inhabitant of the aforementioned primordial monster soup was Orgalorg, the Breaker of Worlds.
Oh, it's a Cthulhu creature. That's cool. I like Orgalorg. He has a funny name too. It's like a Rick and Morty type name.
Tyrannically ruled the solar system for eons. Between 10,000 to 5,000
he seems like a nice guy.
Orgalorg attempts to intercept a catalyst comet and absorb its powerful essence, but Abraham Lincoln, the king of Mars...
What? Abraham Lincoln, the king of what?
Sends
Abraham Lincoln, the king of Mars. All right. No, this is going cool.
Globgrod to stop him with a sweet flame sword. Oh yeah, there's already an advanced society on Mars, and everyone important there is apparently immortal. Anyway, Globgrod banishes Orgalorg to Earth, where Orgalorg forgets everything, including his own identity. The gravity of Earth squashes Orgalorg into a penguin, who's eventually renamed Gunther by a future crown wearer. So just to be clear,
oh, because the Gunther was the dinosaur apprentice to the original Ice Guy, so every Ice Guy now wants his own Gunther. Makes sense.
This Gunther is not actually related to the dinosaur trapped in the crown circuitry. Orgalorg maintains his immortality, though, and continues to appear throughout human history. The Rainicorn Dog Wars, about 2000 BMW. Elsewhere, a nasty...
Just the names of the different parts of the timeline are kind of goofy and hilarious. It's fun, I love it.
Long-lasting war breaks out between the two primary inhabitants of the Crystal Dimension, long rainbow-bodied unicorn-like creatures called Rainicorns and a race of intelligent dogs. The so-called
So this came out when all like brony stuff was getting popular. So they're like, oh, dude, we can appeal to like the brony audience. We can get a little bit of rainbow unicorn stuff going on. They'll love that. It's gonna be awesome.
Wars are fought over territory in the Crystal Dimension. Although fighting ends several hundred years after the Mushroom War, the group in power of the Crystal Dimension would change constantly, and hate crimes between the two groups aren't uncommon. Golb attacks Mars.
Hate crimes?
BMW. Golb is the most powerful cosmic entity in the multiverse, the embodiment of discord and chaos. Golb appears on Mars and swallows Margles, the wife of Globgrod's younger brother, Magic Man. Golb's power is so strong that not even the power of Prismo's wish room can bring her back. Margles
no shot
to exist anywhere. Moko founded.
Oh, he doesn't just kill the lass. He just evaporates her from existence. That's a much worse way to go, to be fair.
About 20 BMW. Sometime before the Mushroom War, Mosif Mastro Giovanni founds Moko, a factory that would build the most impressive robots in the millennium to come. The facility is primarily dedicated to sentient robots
Game Boys?
called Moes, including Mo's personal favorite, BMO, who is designed to receive love. Mo himself slowly transitions into a cyborg and so survives the Mushroom War. The Enchiridion is discovered and Marceline is born. 5 BMW. Simon Petrikov, a professor of archaeology, discovers an ancient book known as the Enchiridion while on an expedition to the Hindu Kush. Although Simon realizes the profundity of his discovery, he's mocked by the press and his fellow academics.
The Enchiridion. Okay, well this looks like something that's related to that Comet Lich. I would imagine it's some kind of like Comet Lich Bible, some demon Bible.
The origin and age of the Enchiridion is unknown, but it's among the most powerful artifacts in the multiverse. If utilized with the correct gems, the Enchiridion can create passageway to different dimensions or enable time travel. This same year, Hanson Abadir has his first and only child, with a human. The half-demon, half-human child is named Marceline. Evergreen's crown discovered. 2 BMW. A few years later, Simon purchases a mysterious crown from an old dock worker in northern Scandinavia. Simon jokingly shows...
How is that just in the hands of a dock worker? When you put it on, you become an ice elemental magician master who loses all sense and sanity. How is that just happening about the place?
Crown to his fiancée and fellow antiquarian Betty Groff by placing it upon his head. The moment he does, the crown starts transforming him. Over many years, Simon's skin turns blue, his hair grows long and white, his body temperature drops, he develops ice powers, and he starts losing his sanity.
Okay, so it happens over a long period of time. So it's not just like you put it on and immediately you turn into the guy, which did happen to Gunther though, because when he put it on, he made the wish and he was like, I want to be the Iceman, and he immediately turned into the Iceman. But with this now, when you put it on, it turns you over a period of time. So maybe it's like lost some of its power.
Betty appears to run away after this initial incident, but in reality, over 1,000 years in the future, Simon opens a portal to say goodbye to Betty, and she jumps through it, but we'll get to that when we come to.
Oh no, it would be like one of those portals where she's jumping through in like a really lovely moment, very wholesome, very lovely, very nice, except she jumps through it, gets like halfway in, and then it closes like it did on Elizabeth in BioShock Infinite, but instead of cutting off a little bit of a finger like it did for Elizabeth in BioShock Infinite, it just chops her in half. Now that would be horrible, wouldn't it?
Here it is, Year Zero, the Great Mushroom War. Only the elementals who saw visions of an ominous future guessed what was about to take place. However, the Earth is presently inhospitable to magic, so the elementals' powers are incredibly limited. Patience St. Pim, the ice elemental, though, refuses to bite it. She goes into the ocean and sinks herself in an ice prism that preserves her life through the war-torn times to come.
Okay, cool. I mean, just, save yourself, might as well. Don't save anyone else, who cares? I respect it. Honestly, reminding me a little bit more of the Avatar, inside of an ice circle.
The Mushroom War is a nuclear war whose origins have become obsolete. The pivotal element is the detonation of the Mushroom Bomb, a gigantic nuclear explosion with a sickening green hue, similar to the Green Catalyst Comet. The site of the Mushroom Bomb detonation
so it's just
is
a nuke.
subway station, possibly in New York or LA. The bomb additionally...
What is that? Is that the flag of New York? Ew, it looks like France. Why do they have this really complicated seal in the middle? What, you can't even read that stuff? The city of Los Angeles? What a terrible flag. I'm sorry, it's just not good. If it just had, take away the seal in the middle and it looks really good.
Releases the corporeal incarnation of the Lich. The site of the bomb's impact becomes a cesspool of toxic waste known as the Lich's Well of Power. The effects of the Great Mushroom War are massive. Earth's climate changes, cities and infrastructure are destroyed, humans nearly become extinct, and nuclear waste turns anyone unlucky enough to touch it into a mutagenic zombie.
I thought this was a kid's show. I must be wrong. There has been nothing child-friendly about this entire thing so far.
These oozers are still alive and biohazardous 1,000 years in the future. The
oh my god!
Is that elemental powers seem to reset. The power of the candy element was stifled immediately before the war, but shortly thereafter, gum is naturally occurring. The Great Mushroom War is also likely responsible for a chunk of the Earth coming clean off, although some theories hold that that was done by
a chunk of the Earth came clean off and there was just donuts flying around in space?
The Blue Catalyst Comet, 0 AMW.
Oh, I guess this is when the main character comes in. Green one, bad. Blue one, good. That's how this works.
Mushroom War, of course. Another major event happens in Year Zero. The Blue Catalyst Comet strikes Earth shortly after the Mushroom War. As a convenient counterbalance to the ultimate evil embodied by the Lich, this comet embodies good. Its first incarnation is a butterfly and will eventually become the human Finn Mertens. Then again, how Farm World Finn can exist in a timeline where the Blue Comet misses Earth is one of the greatest and most frustrating anomalies of all Adventure Timedom.
Okay, so there is an alternate reality where the comet misses Earth, but there's still a version of Finn. I guess, in theory, the same person could be born, but it just wouldn't embody the catalyst, or whatever it's called. It just wouldn't have the power within him. So, it's like Peter Parker, but he doesn't get bit by the spider, but you can still have Peter Parker, but not be Spider-Man, right?
But that's a conversation for another time. Another Adventure Time? No, I immediately retract that joke, I'm sorry. The demise of Simon Petrikov, around 5 AMW. Some humans were able to survive by merit of not being completely human, like Marceline, or were kept alive by magic, like Simon. Shortly after the bomb, these two survivors find each other.
So this is straight up just post-apocalypse? From the very get-go? This is Fallout on steroids where there's basically no humans left at all? What a sad show.
Travel together, but continued exposure to the crown and the increasing need to use its powers defensively are wearing on Simon. Simon leaves Marceline when she's about 10, fearing that he'll soon become too dangerous. Simon disappears until he fully transitions into the Ice King. Simon
and starts playing the drums
to take care of Marceline in his stead, though. Hunson Abadir, serial French fry thief, and the father that Marceline had never met. Vampires eradicated and established around 13 AMW. After Abadir's failed attempt at guardianship, Marceline becomes a vampire hunter, and her demonness allows her to gain the powers of her victims, which is real handy. A few years later,
she absorbs them. She's the Adventure Time version of Kirby, but not as cute.
Marceline befriends the few remaining humans, led by two-bred Tom, who seems to enjoy sitting by the campfire and singing sitcom openings from the 80s. The humans now wear animal hats as disguise and protection against their main predators, vampires, and rainicorns, who arrived and discovered that humans are delicious.
I don't think wearing a hat like that's going to defend you from a vampire. They're just going to look at you and be like, oh, wow, you look dumb. Unless they're really stupid vampires.
Seems to agree on this, by the way. I just thought I'd mention it because it happens and then it's never mentioned again. So it's a little off-putting.
The humans are preparing to sail away from the mainland, not just because of predators and oozers, but because atmospheric readings are portending a major shift. The last fleet of vampires attack with the Vampire King in tow. Marceline orders the humans to depart without her and slays the vampires herself. But the Vampire King's final act is to turn Marceline, making her, ironically, the last vampire. After a long voyage, Two-Bread Tom lands on what becomes Founders Island. He's celebrated as one of the titular founders who are deified over time. In the coming years, the humans branch out onto the surrounding islands and construct a giant guardian so nothing dangerous can reach them.
Oh, interesting. So there's a post-apocalyptic land where there's still a lot of fauna and grass and niceness going around. There are still some humans, or Hylians we could say, going around, and they, in order to protect themselves from some greater other demon-y type entity that might come and kill them, they would construct things called guardians to protect them. And these Hylians, I mean humans that live in Hyrule, I mean the islands that they're on, protect themselves with these constructions called guardians.
And also, so no one leaves. Those wanting to depart are belittled as hiders. As human technology improves, seekers are fine-tuned by an electronic chip to stop hiders. No one leaves the islands for nearly 1,000 years.
Okay.
And the revitalization of magic.
Wait, this is after the main character of Adventure Time is alive and no one leaves for 1,000 years, so he's really old then, right?
149 AMW. Rising ocean levels after
Oh, no. He hasn't been born yet, has he? They said that the comet landed, but they didn't say that he had been born yet, right?
the Mushroom War change Earth's geography. What was presumably the United States, or part of it, has become a smallish continent that's actually friendly to life. This new continent is called Oo, spelled 3 O's. By 149 AMW, magic is...
Oh, the magic is in the form of O's. So Oo is Oo. The magic they're using is Oo, on the land of Oo. That's cool. It's a nice little detail.
enough in Oo to stop comets, and wizardry has been revitalized. Birth of Bonnibel and Nettie Bubblegum, 172 AMW. Over time, the gum that started appearing around Oo gained sentience and the Mother Gum is formed. Only 2 people are known to have left the Mother Gum, Bonnibel and Nettie Bubblegum. The rise and fall of Uncle Gumbald, around 186 AMW. Bonnie and Nettie build a home around the candy juice tree Nettie leaned on for comfort shortly after leaving the Mother Gum. When Bonnibel is in her early teens, she makes some relatives for herself. The first candy people, Uncle Gumbald, Aunt Lolly, and Cousin Cheekley. Bonnie and her new relatives found Candy Town. They upgrade the house, farm the nearby land, create roads, all that good stuff. But Gumbald starts planning a Candy City and wants to use Dum Dum Juice to get Bonnie and Nettie out of his way.
Aw, no, not that, not Dum Dum Juice.
Dum Dum Juice being a solution that causes candy people to become more docile and childlike. Bonnie
Oh, come on now. Well, actually, I mean, she already looks like a child, but I imagine by this point she's actually really old.
He fights back, though, and Gumbald is dumbified along with Lolly and Cheekley, who Gumbald had previously dumbified. They become the first candy citizens, and Bonnie declares herself the princess. God.
That's really morbid. They're using drugs to dumb down the citizenry so they can have easier control over them. And she's totally down with it. She didn't seem that upset when that happened, but she's controlling them with mind-numbing drugs so they can't revolt against her. Ooh, nasty.
That is very messed up now that I'm saying all this out loud.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
The kingdom grows, about 500 to 700 AMW. Bonnibel, now Princess Bubblegum,
like the Opium Wars,
aspiration to build a candy civilization. Her kingdom slowly expands out of her tree home with Nettie. She creates Banana Guards and the Gumball Guardians, and she's sorta dating Mr. Cream Puff, the boyfriend that Gumball had previously made for her. In the
Oh, they're dating. They're kind of getting along. That's a cream puff though. So how are you gonna date a cream puff? I mean, do they have? How do you? It's a cream puff. Don't they go off? Does the cream not go sour?
Stages of development, Bubblegum is visited by Shoko, a reincarnation of the Blue Comet. Being a mercenary thief, Shoko was sent to steal an amulet in Bubblegum's possession. She successfully swipes it after befriending Bubblegum, but in her flight, Shoko falls into the yet uncovered radioactive river surrounding the kingdom, becoming horribly mutated.
What? No, you can't have a kingdom for hundreds of years and then just have a radioactive lake that you just don't cover whatsoever. Like, oh, yeah, that's been there. The radioactive lake? Yeah, well, fine. I don't really care about it. We'll get around to it later. The radioactive lake.
She dies at the base of the tree that will eventually become Finn's treehouse. Over time, the Candy Kingdom prospers. However, the wilder nature of the kingdom's earlier years encouraged rather unfortunate authoritarian impulses in Bubblegum, such as creating an elite force of hundreds of soldiers called Rattleballs, finding them too violent, and then killing them all.
Oh my god! So now not only is she drugging the citizenry to keep them in line, they weren't exactly staying 100% in line. Maybe they had a little kerfuffles. Maybe they snagged a bread loaf every now and then. So she constructs this police force to crack down on them super authoritarian style. She constructs like the Gestapo and then decides that the Gestapo actually sucks and then genocides the Gestapo. That's
Big yikes!
The success of the Candy Kingdom inspires other kingdoms to spawn in the following centuries, including the elemental kingdoms of fire, slime, and ice, which is created by the remnants of Simon Petrikov, who is now known as the Ice King. The Margles Incident, about 600 AMW. Meanwhile, Mars is uneasy about the possibility of the second coming of Golb. To prevent this, Magic Man uses his long-curated scientific and magic—
Why is Abraham Lincoln on Mars? I can't get over that, man. And they're all immortal as well. So that implies this takes place after, or the Civil War in the US, right?
Strength to build the magical automated resistance-generating laser energy supplier, or Margles, named after his wife. Aw, that's sweet. Against the judgment of his older brother, Magic Man goes to Olympus Mons to install Margles, but is overcome by his desire to hold on to the image of his wife. The resulting struggle causes Margles to fall off Olympus Mons. That's not so sweet. Magic Man banished to Earth, 790.
Margles cannot catch a break. She gets absorbed by some kind of outer Hebridean eldritch demon. Who knows what happened to her soul? Then, when they try to bring her back, they just toss her off a mountain again. She cannot catch a bloody break.
98 AMW. After Olympus Mons, Magic Man's personality drastically changes. He starts unleashing a series of mean-spirited prank plagues upon the Martians, like turning Mars's water into hair that would make you go bald if you drank it. Sick of Magic Man's harmful antics, Abraham Lincoln and Grob Gob Globgrod banish Magic Man to Earth. They supply him with a transporter back home, though, that only works through feeling love. Yet Magic Man, who is understandably traumatized, thinks the transporter is just broken, so he simply continues
being a
jerk on Earth. Billy fights the Lich, about 970 AMW. The Lich reemerges and begins to convert Earth's life force into—
I wonder if he's been doing this entire time. Has he just been chilling underground the whole time? What do you think these big villains that go or just disappear for thousands of years, what do they do on a daily basis? Like, what's their morning routine? Like me, I wake up, I give my cat some breakfast, I'll get ready to go to the gym, I'll get my stuff ready for the day, I'll go to the gym, I'll come back, I'll, have breakfast, etc., etc. Like, what's their morning routine? Do they moisturize? That's what I want to know.
To an unholy power to destroy Ooh. Before he succeeds, though, the legendary hero of his era pummels him into the candy tree in the heart of the Candy Kingdom, surrounding him in a prison of amber that can hold him as long as he's unable to invade the mind of anyone who enters his proximity. But whatever, I'm sure that would never happen.
Yeah,
Jake the Dog, 984
I'll be fine.
AMW. An alien shapeshifter, Warren Ampersand, serially bites and thereby impregnates creatures with his offspring in a long con scheme to live forever. His victim this time is a dog in Ooh named Joshua. Joshua gives birth from the bump on his head as his wife Margaret gives biological birth. Their sons are named Jake and Jermaine, respectively.
What?
The birth of Finn Merton.
No, man, I don't like any of that. Why? All of that was horrible. Jake seems nice, though.
And the first humans leave the islands.
Okay, so this is where the protagonist comes in. Halfway through the video, the protagonist has been born.
Also 984 AMW. On the islands, helper Minerva Campbell and reformed con man Martin Mertens give birth to their son Finn. When Finn is still a baby, people wronged by Martin in the past attack while Minerva's at work. Martin and Finn are chased onto a raft and barraged by a storm, and also that Guardian that we mentioned. The one that stops people from leaving. Martin damages the Guardian and is thrown into the sea, while the massive wave from the Guardian's collapse sends Finn's raft deep into the ocean.
Oh man, you really can't have a protagonist without a tragic backstory, can you?
The first people to leave the island since its founding. Finn survives the long voyage with a breadstick wand, literally a wand that produces breadsticks. The raft washes up
that sounds awesome,
making Finn the first actual non-vampire, cyborg, cursed wizard human in Ooh in nearly 1,000 years. He's found and raised by Margaret and Joshua. The island's most powerful seeker, Kara, is sent to look for Finn. She lands on Ooh but suffers complete amnesia. Martin is saved by pirates, having likely suffered brain damage and some memory loss. He reverts to his con man ways, his antics escalating to a cosmic crime that imprisons him in a celestial fortress called the Citadel.
Jesus Christ, Martin can't catch a break. Well, to be fair, he's bringing it on himself. He is a con man. That makes sense. Do you think he remembers that he has a kid?
Epidemic, about 989 AMW. Dr. Gross, the head of the Seeker program, begins to conduct immoral experiments that lead to a fatal virus claiming 62% of the general population. The fatality rate among helpers is 100%.
Dude, that's insane. 62% of the population? Just for context, the Black Death, which is probably the worst pandemic that we've ever known in the history of humanity, killed between 30 and 60% of all Europe when it was around. In 4 years, the Black Death killed potentially 60% of Europe, and that is the worst thing that we've ever known. This is the Black Death, but in cartoon funny time form.
So Minerva, the final helper, uploads her brain map to the island's computer and creates a network of hundreds of Minerva bots. Humanity consolidates on Founders Island. Finn obtains the Enchiridion, 996 AMW. On Ooh, after Joshua and Margaret pass, Finn and Jake move to an epic treehouse with BMO and start a life of adventuring. They go to Crag Mountain, where the Enchiridion has ended up. Finn passes the trials that are presented to him, shows his color as a true hero, and wins the book. The Lich returns. Still 996 AMW. A snail in the Lich's amber chamber falls under his spell and cracks open his amber prison. Finn defeats the Lich with the power of liking someone a lot. But a party-crashing Ice King drops Bubblegum into the Well of Power, allowing the Lich to possess her. One Godzilla
no! Come on, Princess Bubblegum was already pretty authoritarian, like pretty fascist, like pretty bad to begin with, and now she's been dominated by the evil bad guy Lich.
Surgery expels the Lich from Bubblegum, but the loss of candy biomass in the process temporarily de-ages her, making her 13. But she grows out of it pretty quickly, and unfortunately the Lich is still possessing that dumb snail. The death of Abraham Lincoln.
What? No, Abe!
After 200 years, Magic Man is brought back to Mars to stand trial for his misdeeds, except that Magic Man swaps his body with Jake's. Abraham Lincoln realizes his mistake too late after sentencing Jake, and offers Death his immortality for Jake's soul. Grob Gob Globgrod becomes King of Mars. By the way, Death implies that Lincoln's made a deal with him before, which could explain some of the historical discrepancies here. The Lich returns again, and the Farm World timeline is created. Also 998 AMW. After laying low, the Lich leaves his snail bod, kills Billy, and possesses his body. Finn then gathers the Enchiridion's gems for who he thinks is Billy, but once receiving the gems, the Lich then opens a gateway to Prismo, the Wishmaster. He wishes
you sneaky
the
bitch.
Of all life, but Finn and Jake are spared as they follow the Lich to Prismo's time room, which exists outside of all realities, which essentially protects them until they each make a wish themselves.
Oh, so everything is dead. Everything has been wiped out. The Lich just won. He straight up won. But I assume that your wish can reverse this. I imagine, right?
Finn wishes the Lich never even ever existed.
Oh, good counterplay. I respect it. You go back, say if you never ever ever exist, well, not only does everyone come back because he isn't there to even make the wish in the first place, but then so many other things don't happen. Like, he doesn't possess Princess Bubblegum in the first place either. He doesn't do any of the stuff. In fact, Billy doesn't even have to fight him to begin with, which means Billy doesn't get possessed. Billy doesn't die. There you go, Billy's back.
Farm World timeline where the mushroom bomb never went off, and where Finn, under the influence of the crown, causes it to detonate and for the Lich to possess Farm World Jake.
Wait, how can the Lich possess Farm World Jake if the Lich never existed in the first place?
Our Jake, meanwhile, uses his wish to change the Lich's wish to send Jake and Finn back to Ooh. The Lich then becomes incapacitated.
Oh my god, that's messed up. Using your wish to change someone else's wish? That's some M. Night Shabubi. You shouldn't be able to do that. That's hacks. That's not fair play.
In Prismo's time room. Finn obtains the Grass Sword, and Betty comes to Ooh. 999 AMW. Finn ends up with the Grass Sword, an incredibly powerful cursed blade made to be part of its user for all eternity. Finn figures out how to work the cursed blade to his advantage, though. For now. Shortly thereafter, Betty Groff, Simon Petrikov's fiancé,
the Lich came from the bomb?
Through that portal we talked about. She dedicates herself to saving Simon from the crown. Within the year, she becomes Magic Man's apprentice. Prismo's death, the Citadel jailbreak, and the Lich transformed. Also 999 AMW. Finn
that doesn't sound good.
His father is at the Citadel and seeks Prismo's aid. The incapacitated Lich, still in Prismo's time room, sees his opening. He kills Prismo and his sleepy host body and is taken to the Citadel as a prisoner. The Lich melts all of the crystalline prisons of the Citadel and incites a mass breakout. Finn swipes the Lich with some of the Citadel Guardian's weird nutrient blood, transforming him into a gigantic, seemingly harmless baby called Sweet Pea.
Oh my god, this is like what happens in Dragon Ball Z when Majin Buu's running rampant in the land of the Kais, and the big fat Kai that's really nice is like, I'll handle this, and he lets himself get absorbed by Majin Buu, and the niceness of big fat happy Kai transforms Majin Buu into a more harmless version of himself. It's kind of like that, right? Who's Prismo? Prismo is the guy that was like granting the wishes in the funny time room.
Sweet Pea becomes the adopted child of Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig, who,
just like Majin Buu, he goes to Earth, adopts a dog, builds a house, and lives with Hercule. I swear, they're taking a little bit of inspiration from that.
also exist. We haven't mentioned them yet, but here they are. They're Sweet Pea's parents now. Also, Finn discovers that Martin is a complete wad. Martin ditches Finn, who loses his arm in an effort to make him stay. The grass sword creates a little flower on the stump of Finn's arm. It eventually regrows Finn's arm, complete with a green thorn, a remnant of the grass sword's curse. Prismo is reborn and the Finn sword is created, and it's still $9.99 AMW. Prismo enacts
Busy year.
Plan B, which is incredibly convoluted, but involves pickles and dreams. Long story short, an alternate reality version of Jake sleeps for eternity to revive Prismo, while an alternate version of Finn has his consciousness shoved into a sword, henceforth called the Finn Sword. The recorporealization of Grob Gob Globgrod, still $9.99 AMW. A faux comet, which is actually Martin's spaceship, hurtles toward Mars, off schedule to the real comet. To save his planet from destruction, Grob Gob Globgrod faces the comet head-on, averting catastrophe but sacrificing their corporeal form and therefore ability to rule Mars. The four
they're immortal though, they're fine.
Globgrod come to circle the Earth like satellites. Normal Man, later that year. Magic.
You know, this sounds really weird because everything in this is really fucking stupid and like goofy and out there and ridiculous, but I'm actually following this really well. Like, as far as the timeline video goes, I actually kind of understand what's going on. Like, I've just been paying attention the whole time. I'm like, oh, okay, I get this. All these characters, I understand what the characters are. I kind of understand where this is going a little bit.
Magic Man attempts to use Glob's discarded helmet to transform into the Glob head. Instead, all of his powers transfer to Betty, who's immediately gripped by wizard insanity. Magic Man becomes Normal Man. The first Candy Kingdom election.
Normal Man. And Normal Man, not gripped with power, can finally find love. And then he'll be able to go back home where he belongs.
1000 AMW. The self-proclaimed King of Ooh holds a barely legal election for the position of Princess of the Candy Kingdom. Bubblegum refuses the campaign and loses. She relocates to Gumbald's cabin, but reinstates her position when the Candy people perform a coup during the vampire resurgence a couple months later. The return of Orgalorg and the Purple Catalyst Comet.
Damn, Princess Bubblegum was like, elections? I don't think so. I'll just violence my way back into power.
Still 1000 AMW. Orgalorg starts resurfacing due to the perfect mix of events. The death of Blob, the proximity of the Catalyst Comet, and the availability of a spaceship. Even though he doesn't initially...
Yeah, bearing in mind, this penguin guy is that eldritch Cthulhu creature from way back at the beginning that got slapped on his ass and sent down to Earth. At least I think it's Earth.
Understand why, Orgalorg rockets into space to try once again to absorb a Catalyst Comet. Orgalorg's true form is restored, but his absorption is thwarted by Finn's grass arm. For the first time ever, a Catalyst Comet meets the incarnation of a previous one. The comet offers to take Finn to the end and the beginning, basically offering him a new form of existence, but Finn refuses. He's put a lot of time into Earth, and he wants to see how it all plays out. But Martin takes the deal.
Fair enough.
Of course he does. Finn and Jake then return the neutralized...
Wait, why is Martin allowed to take that deal? Because he's not the Catalyst. He's not the comet guy. He's not the special one. He just gave birth, or he had the special guy. So why is he allowed to take that deal? The comet should have looked at him and said, no, not you. You're not special enough. You're not cool enough.
Has gone through to Earth. The spread of the Lich's hand. Still 1000 AMW. The next few things in this timeline actually all happen within the same year, so I'm not gonna list the year until the year changes again. Icefin from Farm World gathers all of the gems necessary for Lich Jake to create that dimensional portal with Farm Worlds and Kyridian. Prismo sends Arfin and Jake to take care of it. The Lich's hand is knocked into the open portal, placing a sentient Lich hand in every dimension. The proper Lich is killed with a super weapon called the Maid. Prismo also relieves Farmworld Finn of the Crown's torment as per Arfin's request.
Is he editing them out?
Normal Man becomes King of Mars.
Oh my god, he straight up just went into an editing program. He opened Adobe Premiere and said, actually, I'm just gonna cut this out right there.
Normal Man retrieves Glob from orbit. The two brothers reconcile, and as Normal Man takes Glob back to Mars, Glob leaves the throne to Normal Man. Mars had fallen into poverty and disarray, but now King Man revitalizes Mars into a prosperous society. Patient Saint Pim awakens, and the Grable tradition begins. Patient Saint Pim reawakens in the nethers of the Ice Kingdom and asks
The Avatar's
Ice King
back.
to kidnap the other elementals. Bubblegum, Flame Princess, and Slime Princess spurn St. Pym, even after she awakens PB and Slime Princess to their elemental powers. Also, Ice King's fanfictions get scrambled together, inspiring him to string seemingly disparate short stories together with a theme. Over the next 1,000 years, Ice King's tables evolve into Graybles, an oral and visual storytelling tradition. Finn's voyage and the elementals gone awry.
Okay.
Finn's friend Susan Strong is revealed to be the Seeker Kara, who was sent to retrieve Finn and lost her memories all those
I remember
years
her.
ago. Susan's finder chip goes haywire, but Finn and company use its data to voyage to the islands. Finn finally meets his mother.
Oh, they have a nice little reunion. And the mom's like, damn, that deadbeat ass husband of mine stole my kid, who actually has a robot arm now. Crazy.
Kind of. I mean, she's still an uploaded consciousness at this point, but Finn
What?
finally tells humans about Ooh. Also, Finn's grass sword merged with the Finn sword to form an alternate version of Finn named Fern, but eventually, tensions rise between Finn and Fern, concluding in a dramatic fight that sees Fern cut down to size.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So that was a fusion of the grass sword and the Finn sword, so they just dead at that point?
Traumatizes Finn further than he already has been over the course of the series. While Finn's away, St. Pym uses
no
Betty
wonder.
as a battery to charge a spell upon the other elementals, but Ice King interrupts her and the ritual goes sideways. The elementals turn into ultra-powerful, distorted versions of themselves, and Ooh and everyone in it is transformed into one of the 4 hyper-elements. Finn works with the Ice King to save Betty and hands her the farm world Enchiridion to reverse the spell, but Betty double-crosses him, instead using the Enchiridion
Come on,
to travel
Bay.
back in time to stop Simon from ever acquiring the crown. Ice King stops Betty's spell, and Betty's cosmic no-no sends her to Mars to do penance. Lumpy Space Princess, the
You have to go to Mars prison now. You've done crime, and we're not allowed to keep you on Earth. You have to go all the way to Mars to do your time.
anti-elemental, ends up saving the day. Her sassiness forces a sort of master reboot of life on Ooh, including Gumball, Cheeklay, and Lolly, Princess Bubblegum's first relatives.
Are they back?
Final demise of the Lich. The Lich Hand is giving
good.
Sweet Pea some freaky nightmares. Finn follows the hand to the Lich's well of power, and
Master
Sweet
Hand?
Pea follows Finn, but instead of joining with the Lich, Sweet Pea rejects the Lich's evil influence and ending the Lich for good.
Dude, this is just like Martian Boo! This is crazy, it's just like Martian Boo. I swear they got some inspiration from that. Martian Boo reincarnates as Oob, he's a good version of himself, and also the Boo that reincarnates at the end, the Boo, the fat Boo that still exists, is good after Dragon Ball ends.
Yeah, probably. The Great Gum War and Golb reformed, and we're finally at 1001 AMW. Gumball immediately begins his revenge. He repurposes Fern as the vengeful Green Knight and builds a vast industrial kingdom with impressive speed. The certainty of war is clinched when Gumball sends Finn, who had gone to Gumbaldia on a rogue diplomatic mission, back to Bubblegum showered in his trademark dum-dum juice, unbeknownst to Finn, who was told the solution was a benevolent diplomatic tradition.
No, they snuck the dum-dum juice on a diplomat? That's insane. You can't do that. It's like the Spartans kicking that one guy into the big hole when they were fighting the Persians.
On the battlefield, Finn engulfs himself, Bubblegum, Gumball, Jake, and Fern with a nightmare concoction, hoping to hash out their conflicts in the dream world, which works. Though Lolly juices Gumball just to be safe, and peace is established between the Candy Kingdom and Gumbaldia. But in a final attempt to save their beloved Simon and Margles, Kingman and Betty tamper with Golb. But you can't just tamper with the most powerful being in the multiverse! Golb descends upon Ooh and quickly overwhelms both armies. The Ice King, Betty, and Finn slip down the maw of Golb, where they and the crown are reverted back to their original states as Golb digests them, meaning that once again, whoever wears the crown will have their greatest wish fulfilled. Not that it matters, because everybody watching cries in a highly emotional scene where Finn, Simon, and Betty slowly accept their impending deaths.
Oh my god, the strongest creature in the multiverse eats you and it puts you in a small room for you to get crushed to death? Man, that's a nasty way to go. Jesus Christ. How are you gonna even beat that? Like, even if you put the hat on, your biggest wish being, oh, I wish I wasn't gonna die. Like, how can a crown overpower the strongest being in the multiverse? It's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna have strength.
Back outside, the fighters realize Golb, being the embodiment of discord, has a weak spot. Structure, like musical harmony. This enables Finn and Simon to escape, but Betty stays with the crown, unsure if its power will still work outside of Golb. She attempts to wish Golb away, which fails. She then modifies her request to meet her truest, deepest wish, which is to save Simon at all costs. As a result, Betty's wish causes her to merge with Golb. Betty Golb.
Oh my god.
Ooh. The crown is
Oh
spat
my
out
god.
by Gunther, who
Dude, that crown is ridiculous. That crown just made the strongest creature in the multiverse, the embodiment of Discord, its bitch. It said, boop, you're fusing with a woman now. Now you're trans.
Who apparently wishes to become the Ice King, keeping the crown on brand. As the dust settles, the defeat of the grass curse back in the Nightmare Realm kills Fern. Finn plants his seed where Finn and Jake's treehouse was destroyed, and the tree grows to towering heights.
So, really funny thing, I was live streaming this, and my stream got taken down for copyright violations, which I think was because it was showing too much of the footage from Adventure Time, which means I can't upload this. You can see the chat is kind of molding about the fact that the stream is over now because it just got sniped and taken down. But we're gonna finish this reaction right now. Fuck you, copyright! You can't take me down!
In 1,000 years. Humans return to Oo, about 1003 AMW. After hearing Finn's tales, the humans decide to leave the islands. Nearly 1,000 years after their departure, a fleet of ships arrive to return human civilization to
And the mom's there
a
too!
new Candy Kingdom in space, about 1020 AMW. In 1000 AMW, Princess Bubblegum entrusted Tree Trunk's husband, not Mr. Pig, her other alien husband, that's also a thing that happened, with a
Other alien husbands? First off, hot. Secondly, didn't know Princess Bubblegum was in a polyamorous relationship.
capsule containing enough candy matter to start a new candy kingdom on the aliens' abandoned home planet. By 1020, this candy colony would be up and running. The future of Oo, 2000 AMW. The candy kingdom expands and likely merges with Gumballia. Despite this, by 2000, the candy kingdom is in ruins and appears abandoned. Still, what looks like a buff gumball guardian, apparently called a prize ball guardian, carries several candy citizens around in plastic balls, guarded by one of the buff banana guards Bubblegum built for the war, or at least an offshoot of one. Aliens move to Oo and space travel becomes more common. Sweet Pea is a giant-sized hero wielding Finn's final sword. Jake and Lady's offspring become a new species called pups, which appear to have constructed their own city or kingdom. Giant monuments to Finn and Jake are built and also fall to ruin. 1,000 years is a long time. And we leave off with Shermie the cat and Beth the pup princess to continue the never-ending cycle of adventuring.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
That's cute. What a cute series. Well, honestly, I think that's a very cute series. It does sound like it's very goofy and all over the place a lot of the times, but you know, I was able to follow that pretty well, and I don't know how accurate that was or how people are gonna get upset for being wrong, but it seems like a fun series that maybe isn't supposed to make a whole lot of sense because there are just things that come out of nowhere and slap you in the face over and over again, but at the end, there is a central overarching storyline that is of friendship and happiness and fun and adventure. And if there's anything else you'd like me to react to, let me to react to, let me know in my Discord server.